Hello, my name is Jeff Frimhall, and today we're going to talk about student self-grading to promote self-assessment and learning. Why have students grade their own work? Besides saving the teacher time, it promotes improvement in two of Bloom's domains of learning, the cognitive or knowledge domain and the affective or emotional domain. With cognitive learning, Sadler and Good looked at a lot of research and concluded self-grading appears to result in increased student learning, peer grading does not. Motes and O'Brien commented, it's established science that taking advantage of feedback contributes into the 10,000 hours needed to become an expert. Students obtain feedback far sooner than if the instructor collects the homework, grades it, and then returns it some days later. With effective learning, students become more aware of their own strengths, progress, and gaps. Student self-grading eases student-teacher conflict by demystifying the grading process and making students feel they have control over their own evaluation. Motes and O'Brien commented, changing your students' perspective on mistakes is the greatest gift you can give yourself as a teacher. Student self-learning ties into the 21st century framework. In particular, it develops life and career skills. It does this by enhancing flexibility and adaptability, and it promotes initiative and self-direction. In particular, it does this by incorporating feedback effectively, and it promotes self-directed learners. What about cheating? The procedural methods used for self-grading are critical to eliminating any chance of cheating. This is with both traditional paper assignments and digital assignments. We're now going to demonstrate a grading procedure for math assignments, both traditional and digital. Here we have a two-step linear equation worksheet. And the presumption is that the students have worked on their own with regular pencil. And then the teacher says stop, and then everyone puts down their regular pencil, is handed a red pencil, and as the teacher goes through the correct answers and how to do the problems, they then circle the places where they get off and or fill in missing areas. For instance, in this case, the student got through problem 1, but they got off at the very end, and so they circled where they got off and put in the final answer. Likewise with problem 2, they only had enough time to do the first step before running out of time. Well, they go ahead and fill in the rest of the work on how to do the problem, so that way they both see how to do it correctly, and the teacher can also see where they were in terms of their progress of doing the assignment. We're now looking at the same assignment in digital format. So again, the students did their work with the regular black font. Then the teacher purposely says stop and waits a while. And in fact, it's even better if they can close the Google document. And then when they reopen it, they switch to a red font, and then they can fill in where they were off or where they just didn't have time to complete the problems. One benefit of digital documents, though, especially Google Docs, is that you can look at the revision history. If you click on Show More Details, it becomes very clear where the student was in terms of the work they did on their own, which is here, and then where the grading process began. So, for instance, in the self-grading, they noted that they got off on the 7, and then when they're completely done filling in the self-grading, you can see how it gets fleshed out. And it's very easy to see this. So it keeps everyone honest. In conclusion, student self-grading benefits the cognitive learning domain, the effective learning domain of the students. And for teacher concerns around cheating, procedural methods address cheating concerns. Thank you for watching.